Um, Picture this. It is Friday afternoon.
Ah, the best time of the week.
Usually, right? The sun is shining outside, you've been grinding all week, and you're finally ready to just shut your laptop and slide into the weekend.
Sounds perfect.
But you're not enjoying it at all. Instead, you're staring at this completely chaotic, misaligned spreadsheet on your screen. You're exhausted, and suddenly your stomach just completely drops.
Let me guess. You forgot something.
Exactly. You realize you totally forgot to follow up with a really warm lead from Tuesday. So you frantically type out an email, trying to sound, casual, but it's too late.
Yeah.
The momentum is gone. They've ghosted you.
It is the worst feeling.
It really is. And now, instead of wrapping up early and actually growing your business, you're spending your next 3 hours doing administrative cleanup. Clicking through tabs, just trying to figure out who you're even supposed to be talking to next week. We have all been there. And it is just pure, unfiltered frustration. You didn't get into business to do manual data entry.
No one does. It's a terrible feeling, and it's universally relatable. It's that classic trap where you end up working for your systems rather than your systems working for you. You basically become a data janitor instead of a professional who actually builds relationships and solves problems.
A data janitor. That is exactly it, and that is what we are fixing today. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, our mission is to make your CRM run itself. We are pulling from a massive stack of sources today. We've got architectural best practices looking ahead to 2026. We've got real-world workflow guides for sales teams and some incredibly hard, eye-opening statistics on how this admin friction actually impacts your bottom line.
Yeah, the numbers are pretty staggering.
They really are. So we're going to demystify automation for you today and show you exactly how to reclaim your time without losing that essential human touch.
And we are going to look at this through a really practical lens. If you've been avoiding deeper integration because it sounds like, a massive technical headache, or you're worried about over-engineering your sales process, you are in the right place today.
Welcome to Service Business AI, where curious people come to stay ahead of everyone else.
Okay, let's unpack this, because most of us treat our CRMs like digital filing cabinets. They're just these static repositories that we only update out of sheer obligation, usually right before a pipeline review meeting, right?
Oh, absolutely. The Friday scramble.
Right. But the sources we're looking at today argue that we need to fundamentally shift that mindset. We need to move to an invisible assistant model.
I love that analogy.
It makes it so clear. Just imagine having an incredibly organized, hyper-vigilant assistant who just follows you around all day. They instantly deal out incoming leads to your team, they actively take notes during your calls, they update your calendar, and they gently tap you on the shoulder exactly when it's time to send an important email.
Exactly.
They do all the heavy lifting in the background so you can just focus on the actual person sitting in front of you.
That is the perfect framing, and I really want to reinforce that point right out of the gate. This isn't about writing complex code.
Right, no coding required.
None at all. You don't need to hire a team of software engineers to build custom infrastructure. It's simply about automating alignment. It's about removing the friction points in your daily rhythm and connecting the dots so your team doesn't have to waste cognitive energy doing it manually.
So why does this matter right now? Let's talk about the actual cost of doing nothing. Because I was reading through our sources, and this specific fact absolutely shocked me. The average sales rep currently spends 14 hours out of a 40-hour work week just cleaning up data.
14 hours.
Let that sink in for a second. 14 hours. They aren't selling. They aren't talking to customers. They are literally just moving text from one box to another box.
It's painful to even think about.
It is. That's over 35% of their time completely wasted on digital chores. And to make it even crazier, the research shows that 40% of salespeople are still relying on informal methods, like those messy spreadsheets we just talked about, just to survive their day-to-day.
What's fascinating here is the concrete, real-world impact of fixing that specific bottleneck. When you transition your team to an automated workflow, you aren't just buying a fancy software license. You are buying back capacity.
Buying back capacity, I like that.
Yeah, the data shows you save about 4 to 5 hours a week per person on your team. Imagine what your best performers could do with 5 extra hours a week of pure, uninterrupted relationship building time.
You can completely change the business.
Exactly. And the financial impact of that recovered time is massive. Our research indicates that for every single dollar you invest in a CRM, the average return on investment is $8.71.
Wait, $8.71 back for every dollar spent?
Yep.
That is a staggering ROI. It completely changes the math on whether these systems are, too expensive to implement.
It really does. And the compounding effect gets even better. Having all this data instantly accessible and automatically updated actually shortens the entire sales cycle. The time it takes to close a deal drops by 8 to 14%.
Yep.
You're moving faster because you have the context you need exactly when you need it. You aren't hunting through your inbox or your Slack messages to figure out where a deal stands.
And for you, the listener, I want to make sure it's really clear that this isn't just about hitting higher quotas or squeezing more productivity out of your week. It's genuinely about your peace of mind.
Absolutely.
It's about not lying awake in bed at 2 in the morning, wondering if you remember to send that critical renewal contract.
Yeah.
It's about actually getting your weekends back.
Yeah.
So how do we get there? Let's walk through the actual workflow, looking at how a modern automated pipeline should actually function. Step 1 is the initial contact, what the industry calls speed to lead.
Right.
Let's say a high-value prospect fills out a form on your website while you're at lunch in an old legacy system that just sits in an inbox until someone decides to claim it. What does the automated version look like?
So in automated system, we utilize round-robin routing.
Round robin. Okay, let's define that really quick for anyone new to this. It simply means the software automatically takes turns handing out new leads to your team members, just like dealing cards to players in a game, right?
Exactly like dealing cards. It ensures that no single person gets overwhelmed with too many prospects. It keeps the distribution fair, and most importantly, it guarantees the customer gets an instant personalized reply.
And that speed is absolutely critical to conversion, because our sources emphasize the 60-second SLA. And SLA is basically just a promised response time, right?
Yes, service level agreement. Just a promise of how fast you'll reply.
Right, so if you're promising a response time of 60 seconds, automation is quite literally the only way you're going to pull that off without having a human being staring at an inbox, refreshing it all day long.
Precisely. Because the modern buyer's expectation has shifted so dramatically, if you take an hour to respond to an inquiry, that customer hasn't just moved on. They have likely already opened up a new tab, clicked over to your competitor's website, and started a conversation with them.
They're gone.
They're totally gone. Automation catches that intent while they're still actively thinking about your solution. It strikes while the iron is hot.
Okay, so if the automated routing solves the initial outreach and secures the meeting, the next immediate friction point is the actual conversation. You're on a discovery call, and historically, you're splitting your attention.
Right.
You're trying to listen, build rapport, and simultaneously take these frantic notes so your manager doesn't yell at you for having an empty CRM record.
It's a juggling act.
It is. But here's where it gets really interesting. The sources detail a massive shift from post-call data entry to active conversational data extraction.
This is perhaps the biggest leap forward we've seen recently.
Yeah, because now you integrate platforms like Outdo or MeetRecord, and for the listener, these are tools that literally listen to your calls, automatically type up the notes, and drop a summary straight to your customer's file.
You don't lift a finger.
Exactly. You get on the video call, they analyze the audio in real time, synthesize the key action items, and format it perfectly.
And the intelligence of these platforms is what truly changes the game. Because the software is analyzing the actual context of the conversation, it can execute logical updates.
Give me an example of that.
Sure. So if it hears a specific person on the call talking about budget approvals or timeline constraints, it automatically updates that contact's role to decision maker in your CRM.
No way.
Yes. You don't have to go back in after the call and manually check a box saying, John controls the budget. The system recognizes the intent and structures the data for you.
That's a profound shift. It essentially turns passive note-taking into active data structuring, without the rep having to ever break eye contact with the customer.
Exactly.
You literally just have a normal human conversation, and the invisible assistant does all the administrative paperwork in the background. Okay, so the meeting went great. Now we hit the phase where most pipelines go to die, the follow-up.
Oh, the follow-up. This is undeniably where the majority of businesses just hemorrhage revenue. The behavioral statistics here are tough to look at, but they are so important. 80% of all sales require at least 5 follow-ups to actually close.
5.
At least 5. But the data shows that 44% of salespeople give up after just one single follow-up attempt.
That is painfully relatable. I mean, we've all been there. You send that one incredibly thoughtful email, you don't hear back for 3 days, you start to feel like you're being annoying, so you just stop. You just tell yourself they aren't interested. How does an automated CRM actually fix that psychological barrier?
It fixes it by providing intent signals. Instead of guessing when to follow up, you integrate your digital proposal tools directly into the CRM, so tools like PandaDoc.
Which is just a tool used to send digital proposals and contracts.
Exactly. Let's say you send out the contract. In a manual world, you're just waiting and hoping. But with automation, the moment the customer opens the document on their laptop, your CRM registers that event. It automatically moves the deal stage on your dashboard to in negotiation. And it can immediately send a chat message to your phone saying, hey, the client is reviewing the proposal right now.
It's like having a radar system for your deals.
Uh,
You aren't guessing if they're ignoring you. You're reaching out exactly when your solution is top of mind for them. It removes all the anxiety from the follow-up process.
totally removes it.
But, looking at all these automated triggers, documents, moving stages, automated emails, instant phone pings, my immediate concern is the safety aspect. What if I set this up wrong? What if I build a rule that accidentally blasts my biggest client with the same welcome email 100 times in a row?
That is a very valid fear. And honestly, it's usually what keeps smart professionals from fully utilizing these tools. But the enterprise-level systems have robust safety guardrails built into their architecture. The first concept you need to utilize is called a sandbox.
A sandbox. Just like a safe, isolated practice area where you can test new rules without breaking your real system.
Exactly. It's a duplicate of your system where you can build, test, and intentionally break your new automated rules without ever touching your real, live customer data. It gives you the freedom to experiment and see exactly how a trigger behaves before you deploy it to your actual pipeline.
So you get to play around, make all your mistakes, and no real customer ever sees the mess.
Precisely.
That's very reassuring. And the sources also highlight a specific technical safeguard that I found brilliant. It's called idempotency. Now that sounds like a heavy, intimidating computer science term, but it just means a technical safeguard that simply prevents the system from accidentally sending the same email to a customer twice, right?
That's spot on. It's a fundamental failsafe. If your automated rule says, send a contract when the deal hits this stage, idempotency guarantees the system will never accidentally fire off that same contract a second or third time. Even if you accidentally double-click the button or a web connection misfires.
Okay, that makes me feel a lot better. Just a built-in safety lock.
Yeah.
But I want to pivot slightly, because as we're talking through all this, I know there are listeners who are curious, maybe a bit skeptical. So let's do a quick Q&A,
Let's do it.
because I want to ask the exact questions a newcomer might be thinking, but might be too embarrassed to ask. Question number 1. Wait, so if I automate my CRM, aren't I just going to sound like a cold, heartless robot to my customers?
The short answer is no.
Yeah.
In fact, the goal is the exact opposite.
How so?
You are automating the internal admin, the scheduling, the reminders, the data entry. Because you don't have to do those chores, you actually have more free time to have genuine human conversations. You aren't a robot, your background systems are.
It actually makes you more human.
Heck,
Love
yeah.
that. Okay, question 2. This sounds great, but won't I overwhelm my system if I try to build 50 different automated rules on day 1?
Yes, you will. Less is more here. 20 high-quality, simple rules will always beat 200 complicated ones.
So keep it simple.
Keep it very simple. Start with just 1 or 2 rules, like sending a reminder to yourself when a deal sits silent for 10 days. That's it.
Perfect. Question 3. What if my current process is already a total mess? Like, nothing is organized. Can automation fix that?
Absolutely not. I strongly caution against this. Automating a broken process just scales the chaos.
It just makes the mess faster.
Exactly. You have to fix the process on a piece of paper first. Once the manual process makes sense, then you automate it.
That is incredibly practical advice. Fix the process on paper first. Okay, so for the complete beginner listening right now, they're convinced they want to start. What is the one first step they should take today?
Do not start by buying software.
Really?
Really. Instead, start by identifying your biggest bottleneck. Sit down and ask yourself, what is costing me time or deals every single week? Find that one point of friction.
So if you are listening to this right now, grab a pen. Write down the one repetitive administrative task you absolutely hate doing. Maybe it's manually copy-pasting email addresses. Maybe it's typing up those post-meeting notes. Pick that one specific task and make automating that single thing your only goal for the week.
That's the perfect way to start. Solve that first painful bottleneck, and the rest will naturally follow.
So what does this all mean? When we look at everything we've covered today, it means that a CRM shouldn't be a digital filing cabinet that you resent having to update. It should be an active teammate, It should protect your time, nudge you when important things happen, and ultimately help you build better relationships.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, I think there is a really important question we all have to ask ourselves.
What's that?
If artificial intelligence and CRM automation eventually take over 80% of your daily administrative work, what uniquely human skills are you going to need?
Oh, that's a great point.
Right, like empathy, high-level storytelling, complex problem solving.
Right.
You need to start developing those skills today to ensure you stay ahead in your industry. Because the machines will do the admin, but they can't do the human connection.
What a phenomenal thought to end on. Your humanity becomes your absolute biggest asset. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We really encourage you to take that first step, find your bottleneck, and start reclaiming your time. We will catch you on the next one.